pre-owned vehicles in 2022, Sarah Wayland Chevrolet will start your new year off right and put you in a brand new car, truck, or SUV. From the legendary Silverado to their impressive lineup of SUVs, Sarah Wayland Chevrolet has got your back. So hit those new roads in 2023 with a brand new Chevy from Sarah Wayland Chevrolet today, where leasing, buying, or custom ordering any new Chevy is always a great experience. That's because Sarah Wayland's family will take care of your family. Start the new year off right with a great deal and a great experience from the award-winning team at Sarah Wayland Chevrolet. 17.5 Van Dyke in Sterling Heights. Call 800-WAYLAND-1 or go to sarahwayland.com. Find new roads.
When you need to know what's happening, it's time to get it.
You're fraudulent. You're not in the business of winning football games. You're in the business of trying to prove your own asinine decisions correct. We can talk about the Irsay thing. Do I think the Saturday thing is the biggest joke in the history of the NFL? I do. But at least he was willing to say, this ain't working for me. I don't care that I just gave him extensions.
Listen to In the Huddle, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
The latest on the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, and the MLB on the Boston Balls Podcast with Pat Caputo. Get it on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, you got me until 7 o'clock, so let's bang through these calls real quick at Ticket Text. I think you contradicted yourself, Wojo. It does affect our recruiting. Obviously, you said we're down, and we were down last year, the 2 years back-to-back that he was courting the NFL. If he wasn't courting the NFL, we wouldn't be down. It's just that simple. No, I didn't say it didn't have, I said it's being overblown. It's not as down as much as you think when you factor in the transfer portal. Of course there has to be some. Of course it's used against them negative recruiting-wise, but I don't think it's destroyed it at all. They absolutely love the recruiting class last year. And the players, and Mason Graham, who played as a freshman, looks like a monster. So, but yeah, I don't deny that when it's out there, anytime there's uncertainty, especially in college football now with so much uncertainty, that, you know, players and recruits and parents get skittish about it. I get that. But again, here's somebody else say, we lost our coordinators last year because they thought he was going to Minnesota.
Take the second exit onto Carroll Lake Road.
I think you offense improved even more, and you got pretty much the same defensive coordinator, if not maybe even better, Jesse Minter, TCU game excluded. Okay? I'm just saying, until there's like a real horrific downside, and I'm not saying there can't be, but until there is, you cannot argue that he's damaged them the last 2 years. You can't argue that. You can argue he will damage them if this continues or if he leaves. And honestly, I have no idea. I don't think he knows what his options are. Maybe he hired an agent, and because he, you know, he doesn't necessarily make market value in college football now, based on his recent record. Maybe he was sick of hearing people say, the NFL didn't even want him. Yeah, Harbaugh tried to leave, and the Vikings bought him a hamburger and said, get out of here. The NFL didn't even want him. A highly competitive guy who may or may not keep receipts might tell an agent, I know the NFL really does think I'm not worth it. That's what they're doing. I'm just guessing. Sorry. No, I'm not going to be one of those ones that says, I know exactly what's happening. I guarantee this. Don't even listen to the... I'm not going to do that because he has a very small inner circle. And contrary to what Mike says, Valenti, I am not in that inner circle. Let's go to Rochester and talk to Scott. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Hello there, Scotty.
Turn right onto West Hines Road.
What's happening?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and I'm not going to like saying this because I'm the biggest Michigan fan, you know, but I think one of the worst features of that head coaching job is the unrealistic fan. And the reason I say that, this bowl game is a perfect example. We went in and we played TCU. And I think too many people looked at the name TCU. Had it been Texas, they would have been more fearful just for that reason. And now, do you know what the composite rankings are?
Yeah, of the recruiting rankings, or?
What they do is they take the team's roster.
Oh, right, and value it, right.
So right now, this year, Jim Harbaugh and Michigan were the
At the
13th
next
most
light,
talented
turn
team.
right.
TCU is just as talented because, yeah, they got a lot more 3-stars, but 3-stars are every bit as good as 4 and 5 stars from here in Texas. And the biggest thing is this, and I don't know if we can change it. The state Georgia has roughly 90 players from the state of Georgia on their team. You have Texas. Texas has right around 90. Then you have TCU has 82.
Okay, but
So
Scott,
the
you don't need to justify or make excuses for any. They've had a great 2 seasons,
At the
but
light,
they
turn right onto
were
West
not
West
ready for
Road.
that TCU game, and it wasn't just a talent equalization in my mind.
No. We put up 45 points. I think we did a couple dumb things. But overall, I think people got to realize the reason Michigan is not looked at nationwide as Ohio State, even though we beat them twice in Alabama and all that. This year, Michigan has 43 blue chips on their roster. Ohio State has 66. Georgia has 68. Alabama has 75. So the talent disparity is so far and beyond. And until you fix high school football in this state, and we start recruiting players again from Michigan that can contribute,
Arrive at
we only have
West Wise
30
Road.
and 5 that are impactful.
No, you're right. And Michigan, as far as 4 and 5 stars, those numbers are accurate. Like Georgia 68, Ohio State 66, Michigan 44, or something like that. But what they have done with good coaching and development is develop players that weren't huge recruits, Rod Moore and safety and guys like that. So you can't just go on recruiting rankings. Otherwise, then what's the point of playing the season? I know it does work out that way, Alabama and Georgia and all, but you can spring. You don't have to lose to TCU in the Final Four. And I'm not killing them for that. I'm not one of those unrealistic people who say, oh, you had to have advanced. But I don't even know if that's what would be driving, if anything is driving him away. I think it's more this personal, unfulfilled quest. Like, would it be more fulfilling to go to the NFL and shut everybody up? Or can I even get any more fulfillment out of Michigan? Because even if I beat Ohio State, win the Big Ten, and I lose in the playoff, then everybody's like, why'd you call that trick play? That was dumb. And he admitted it was dumb, and he wouldn't do it again. I mean, I don't know. I could see that. None of us know what's going on in his head, and to be honest, I'm not sure I'd want to. Let's go to Brighton. Talk to Mark. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Hello there, Marky.
Hi, Happy New Year, Woj.
Happy New Year. Woo.
The thing is what's almost seems to be going on year in, year out the last couple of years with Harbaugh is the same thing that Michigan State dealt with about 20 years ago with Nick Saban. Every year.
That's
like,
true.
And it just kind of wears. It's like crying wolf after a while. You get tired. And I think where it's hardest on is the athletic director. It's like, what the hell's going on year in, year out? And you get tired after a while and say, go. We don't need you here anymore. If you can't, every year you're just dragging us around. Just go.
But do you really want your athletic director, Ward Manuel, to say that to him?
Not right now, but I mean, if it occurs,
Okay.
if it occurs every year for the next 2 or 3 years, you get tired of it after a while.
Yeah.
And the fans get tired of it.
I do too. And he did say when he, came back from Minnesota last year, said, I told Ward, this will not happen again. I'm not, and that does look bad, and it will smack of hypocrisy if in fact he leaves. But he always, and thanks for the call, Mark, Harbaugh's clever this way. The fact that he doesn't surround himself with too many people, so-and-so, or people that don't know whether or not they're people, he can plausibly deny. I never said I talked to the Carolina owner. I never said that. I mean, if he stays here, he can plausibly say, I just listen. If people call me, I listen, but I didn't say I was going. And yes, he would look like a big fat hypocrite if he just bolts for some reason, unless there's some reason we don't know about, unless Michigan offered him a salary cut and Denver offered him $20 million. Then you wouldn't hold that against him. And I'm not saying that's even